And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set for All-Star Race Weekend here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is going to be a very interesting format because this is not actually the All-Star Race. This is just All-Star Race Weekend, and we're going to actually be running 3 races during the course of this video, and then we'll have the All-Star Race in the next video. These are basically the qualifying races to try and get yourself into the All-Star Race if you haven't already locked yourself into the All-Star Race by being the defending All-Star Race winner or having a win after last year's All-Star Race and here before this All-Star Race this season in Season 3 of the Hershey's Cup Series. So we've got right now, as far as I'm aware, I think there's 25 drivers that are actually locked into the All-Star Race at this point. And we're going to add another 3 drivers into the All-Star Race in the Hershey's Shootout. But before we get to that, we've got 2 dual races that will take place here for the go or go home non-chartered rides. And so what's going to happen here is we're going to have 2 heats. There are going to be 2 duels. In those 2 duels, the top 4 in each one of those duels, they will transfer into the Hershey's Showdown. In the Hershey's Showdown, it's the top 3 that will make it into the All-Star Race. If you want to see what starting lineups and everything are for these, I do have them down in the description here for Duel 1, Duel 2, as well as for the upcoming Sprint Showdown. So if you don't know where you're starting in those respective races, if you make the Showdown, blah, 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 you'll get to find out there in the description. So anyway, we're going to have 15 laps of racing here today. And you can see I actually have the NSCRA ticker finally. It took me a while to actually remember, hey, you got to put that in your games. That way, you know, you don't have that stupid default ticker. Finally, it's back. So, yay. So it'll be 15 laps of racing here for this first duel, 15 laps of racing as well for the second duel. So basically whatever I say happens here in Duel 1, you can expect will happen in Duel 2. Top 4 will transfer into the Hershey's Showdown, and there will be no cautions. 15 laps, dash to the finish, top 4 get in. So without further ado, let's get these cars rolling off here. As you can see, Matt Daleo lines up on the pole alongside of Joshua Osborne. Matt McIntire and A Stoudimere, they make up row number 2. Mitchell Carter and Elijah Gordon, that's row 3. Row 4 is Daniel Gilbert, who almost won at Gravity City. O'Neal Balvin alongside of him, and it looks like row 5 is K Shearer and W Shears. So the pace car will head for pit road, and here we go. 15 laps of racing. Top 4 transfer into the Hershey Showdown with a chance of making the All-Star Race. Green flag is out here at Charlotte. Sorry for the frame rate. It should actually settle itself out to pretty decent after these cars get somewhat separated. It seems like every time that they have a number of cars in the picture, that's when the frame rate's really at its worst. When they get spread out, then it gets better, as Matt McIntire is going to go by for the top position. Remember, these drivers, their goal is to finish 4th or better. That'll transfer them into the Showdown. Right now, Daniel Gilbert, Joshua Osborne, K Shearer, John Andrews, Steve Pollard III, they're contesting that 4th position as the top 3 right now. They're racing amongst themselves. Matt McIntire out in front, side by side for 2nd. Mitchell Carter to the inside of Matthew Daleo. Remember, if a wreck takes place, there is no caution to bunch these drivers back up, so one of the big trouble spots, especially at this racetrack, seems to be off of turn number 4 when they try to make it 3 wide. There's not a whole lot of grip on the high side of turn 4. A lot of drivers who get up in the marbles don't look like much grip on the high side there off of turn 2 either, as I believe Joshua Osborne in the 27 just got the wall, the yellow safer barrier, coming off the second corner, and they are 3 wide here coming through 4. That could be an issue, and I believe Matthew Daleo did get the wall, but fortunately he kept it straight, and you can see them all freight training the Quaker State Chevrolet now as he's very quickly dropping to the back after scrubbing off a lot of speed with the contact of the outside wall in turn 4. Now Daleo up on the high side still may have scrubbed off a little bit more there on the turn 2 outside wall. As right now, as things stand, Matt McIntire would transfer, as would Stephen Pollard III. Andrew Davis now moves into third. Jordan Lopez now finds himself in the final transfer spot as he crossed the line in fourth place. You can keep track with our ticker there. Top four would transfer into the Hershey Showdown. And right now the top five are single file. Top six, now top seven single files. Chris Dollerton tucks in behind Elijah Gordon. A Salinas tucks in behind Chris Dollerton. Top five trying to break away here. Now they're going to start racing. Andrew Davis now to the inside of Stephen Pollard III. And you're probably wondering, why are these guys up here running first or fourth? Why wouldn't they just ride? Why wouldn't they just work with each other, ride, all transfer? Because this track and the way that the physics seem to work here, especially with the CTS physics, there is tremendous suck-up, tremendous draft, and if you end up getting freight trained, you can find yourself fourth place one lap, and then all the way back, 15th, 16th, 17th place, having to fight your way back up into the top four the next lap. And those drivers do not want to have that happen, so they're not only making the move to try and pick up position, they're also making the move to the inside of the corners to kind of take away the opportunity of the driver behind them, making a move on them, and maybe shifting them towards the rear of the field. So it's as much aggressive offensive driving as it is defensive driving to try and keep and hold your position, especially if you're up inside the top four in a transfer position. Right now that battle for the fourth position hotly contested. Right now, Salinas has it, no longer. Give it to Stephen Pollard III. Jeremy Jones now moves into the fifth position. Now he'll look to try and get by Stephen Pollard and move himself into a transfer spot. There's W Shears in the 21, the Red Bull Chevrolet. We know that at this current point in time, none of his teammates are in the All-Star Race. Michael Norman and Tim Walsh both are going to be in the Hershey Showdown trying to race their way into the All-Star Race. Dougie Shears, the third entry out of that, or actually one entries out of Michael Norman Motorsports, as is the 4 of Daniel Gilbert, who's in this field. Both of them trying to at least put the odds in favor of at least one of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars making the All-Star Race. But I'll tell you what, right now, M McIntire has done a great job. I don't know if it's necessarily the fact that he's been able to drive aggressively and do a lot of mirror driving, is the fact that a lot of the battling has been going on mainly for the second position on back. There really hasn't been a challenge for the lead, and that is, every lap that takes away, that is good for M McIntire. May have a challenge here momentarily, though. Here comes Stephen Pollard III, former winner of the Hershey's Cup Series back in Season 1 at Texas. Oh, someone just got the wall. Somebody was hard into the wall. That might have been Jeremy Jones. He might have taken Chris Dollerton with him, I'm not sure, but the 7 is dropping back. That seems to have kind of split the pack up into two groups. You've got this lead pack up here with M McIntire, Stephen Pollard III, Salinas, M Daleo, Mitchell Carter, who we're looking at right now. Then teammates Andrew Davis and Joshua Osborne. The tail end of that group being Elijah Gordon. Then you've got, I believe that was Jordan Lopez trying to catch up with John Andrews to get that second pack hook up in the first pack. They're actually reeling in that first pack once again. So it's not over, as Stephen Pollard III now has punched away the lead from M McIntire, and he may not hold on to it for long. Here comes Matthew Daleo to the inside. And believe it or not, we are going to have 3 laps to go when these drivers hit the stripe this next time by. And there are about 8, 9, 10 cars up here in this lead pack, all fighting for the top 4 positions. Daleo leads that lap, but they are 3 wide with Salinas stuck in the middle. And here comes Glenn Atwood Motorsports rookies Andrew Davis and Joshua Osborne working together on the inside line. Davis trying to go for the lead. Elijah Gordon now is going to make it 3 wide. He moves Joshua Osborne up the racetrack. It's now double wide. Nope, it is 3 wide with Matthew Daleo. Daleo gets the wall. He gets it to Osborne. Both cars up and into the fence. Both cars to the wall. Mitchell Carter spins. Pollard is spun. Dougie Shears is around as they are wrecking near the rear of the field. Chris Dollerton is collected. Oh, look out. Nick Johnson narrowly avoiding. But Pollard, Mitchell Carter, Chris Dollerton was involved in that, as was, I believe, Dougie Shears and Matthew Daleo. So about 5, 6 cars wrecking here, but it doesn't matter. No cautions to bunch them back up. as Andrew Davis, he will see the white flag displayed. Smoke lingers on the front straightaway, but it doesn't matter. No caution flag, we're still green. Davis with the lead. Salinas moves to second. Elijah Gordon into third. And right now, the final transfer spot goes to Jordan Lopez in the 9 car, but he wants more. He's going to go to the inside of Elijah Gordon for third. Matt McIntyre looking for fourth. This is for the transfer spot. John Andrews now in the mix. As out of turn 4, Andrew Davis will win. Salinas transfers. Lopez transfer, and looks like Matt McIntyre will get the final transfer spot into the Hershey Showdown. Just short, John Andrews, Elijah Gordon, and O'Neal Balvin. Wow. So it'll be Andrew Davis for Joanna Atwood Motorsports, O'Neal Balvin, or make that Italia Salinas, I should say, for O'Neal Balvin Racing, Jordan Lopez for Richard Petty Motorsports, and Matt McIntyre for Anime Racing Team. They will transfer into the Hershey Showdown with a chance of making the All-Star Race. Take a look down here through the rest of your finishing results on down, and we had that wreck that involved Pollard and Carter and Dollerton, Daleo and Shears. Took them out of a chance of transferring. And we've still got one more duel to come before we even get to the showdown. Still a lot more qualifying races still to happen. Don't go anywhere. Duel number 2 is coming up right now. We are about to get the command to fire up the engines and get these cars rolling up for the second duel. Pichu London lines up on the pole alongside Cody Hagen. Then Jonathan Zoerlien makes up row number 2 with William Duncan. Again, you can look down in the description, see the starting lineup for this duel. 4 drivers have already transferred into the Hershey Showdown. 4 more drivers will transfer in this one, and it looks like somebody did not get going. That was rookie Elijah Gilbert out of Seth Cole Baker Motorsports. The only driver, I might add, that is not locked into the All-Star race for that team. So it doesn't look like Gilbert will be even transferring into the showdown as the green flag is out here for duel number 2. And boy, Lyndon Wright, I think, was the car that was behind Elijah Gilbert. He and a group of others, they almost Kyle Bushed it. And look at Cody Hagen. Hagen will go to the race lead. He was in the outside line there through turns 1 and 2. Pichu London did not get going or something. Zoerlien's already gone by him for second. William Duncan and Jason Heywood splitting him 3 wide. They'll get by him for third and fourth. I don't know if Pichu London missed a shift or he may be down a cylinder. They're actually freight training that 87 car. Not good at all for Pichu London. Not a good start for him. Obviously not a good start for Elijah Gordon. As I mentioned, yeah, the only driver out of Seth Cole Baker Motorsports that is not locked into the All-Star race here this season. His teammates, Cole Baker, Anthony McCurry, Sean Galligan, they are all locked in. They will be racing for the $1 million check. Cody Hagen, let's be honest, there's been like 5 go-or-go-home drivers this season that have really shown a lot of strength in making races, getting good finish when they make races. Obviously, that would include Matt Haas, Chris Dollerton, and you can throw Cody Hagen into that mix. Whoa! Contact 3 wide there for second, third, fourth with Qualls, Duncan, and Hagen. Settle it out, though, as Jason Heywood shows the way, trying to have an opportunity for 2 KAB Racing Enterprises machines to make the All-Star race. Right now, the only one locked in the All-Star race at this point is Kat Tellier, our Infineon race winner this season. Keith Batson, he'll try and make the All-Star race in the Hershey Showdown coming up in mere moments as soon as this duel is over. DJ Curtis to the inside of James Qualls. And he'll take the race lead. Jonathan Zoerlien running right behind him. Sean Henley, last time they crossed the stripe, it was Qualls, Curtis, Zoerlien, and Heywood that would transfer, but I think it's going to look a little bit different when we cross the line this time. They're 3 wide as Johnny Gardner to the inside of William Duncan. Jason Heywood rim riding on the high side, and it sounds like Elijah Gilbert's gotten his car back on track. He has. Running 175. He's about 10 miles per hour off the race leaders, who are obviously much faster since they're in a pack and in draft. But you gotta wonder, I mean, we're only 6 laps into this second duel. Is that machine of Elijah Gilbert gonna come into play? Are they gonna reel him in at some point? Uh-oh. Oh, look out. DJ Curtis up there almost into the wall. Zoerlien, I know, did clobber the wall there with his low Chevy. And as a result, J Jefferson is out in front now. And then look behind him. There's AS Racing and AS Racing affiliate drivers. Oh, trouble! DJ Curtis into Jason Heywood. Heywood is spinning around on the back straightaway. He keeps the car going. And I think he had contact with the 77 of DJ Curtis. You can see there's some right side as well as left side damage on the 5-hour Energy Toyota. But as stated before, doesn't matter how many incidents we have, doesn't matter how many cars finish the race, we do not have the caution flag come out. Zachary Stultz now to the inside line on J Jefferson, and he'll take the race lead. There are 2 Fire Ice Racing drivers in this. Actually, no, there are 3 Fire Ice Racing drivers here in this duel. Stultz, Citadino, and the guy who started on the pole for this race, Pichu London. At this point, though, only 1 of the Fire Ice drivers are locked into the All-Star race, and that's driver the 93, Zach Flickinger. Cody Hagen started on the outside of the front row, led the first lap, and now he's charging back towards the front. He's now moved up to 4th, trying to take 3rd away from rookie Cole Deaver, as J Jefferson will move by for the race lead once again off of Zachary Stultz. Oh, contact back there. Isaac Canepa is around. The 43 is spun. It looked like he might have made some contact with John Citadino. And now he'll mash the throttle and continue on. That's a tough break for him. His teammate Jordan Lopez transferred into the Hershey Showdown in the first duel. But it doesn't look like his Richard Petty Motorsports teammate Isaac Canepa will be able to do the same unless a lot of these drivers up here end up getting involved in some kind of incident within the next 4 or so laps. Jefferson looking good right now. After 1 car, his finishes in Almond Joy have actually stepped it up in the last couple of weeks, so maybe riding that wave of momentum with maybe an opportunity of making it into the showdown, maybe even into the All-Star race. These drivers that transfer in both of these duels, maybe they start at the rear of the field for the Hershey Showdown, so they're going to have to fight their way from the rear of the field up to the front, but we've kind of seen that as a possibility. I mean, case in point, look at the car that's running right now in the 4th position. That is John Citadino, who started this race way back in the field. I think he started somewhere around the 19th position out of 21 cars. So it is possible to work your way from the rear of the field up to the front of the field. And keep in mind, 15 laps here in these duels, it'll be 20 laps in the showdown. So that's 5 extra laps to work your way from the rear of the field up to the front as well. So a little bit more insurance for drivers that are transferring from these dual races to still have an opportunity to be on a level playing field and have an opportunity to get their car up to the front, into the top 3, and transfer their way into the All-Star races. Looks like most of the leaders going to be able to clear Elijah Gilbert for the most part. And we have 2 laps to go when they hit the stripe that last time. Right now it is Stultz, Jefferson, Hagen, and Qualls, as there was some contact right there, I believe, between William Duncan and John Citadino. Citadino nearly dumping the Krispy Kreme Ford, but Duncan, quite the wheelman, able to keep it together. And the white flag is displayed this time. Here we go. Top 4 spots will transfer. Who will they be? Right now it's Jefferson, Stultz, Hagen, and Qualls when they cross the line that time. Will it be that way when they cross the line the next time by? Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. They're going 3 wide. Hagen up the middle. Stultz on the high side. Here comes Qualls for the race lead. Chelsea Bull's going to make it 3 wide down on the inside line. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. This could be trouble off of 4. Jefferson gets the wall. He's up in the wall again. Stultz made contact, and Chelsea Bowles is going to win the duel. Who else transferred? It was Duncan. Qualls and Citadino gets the final transfer spot just barely over Cody Hagen. I don't know how we didn't have a 5, 6, 7 car wreck with the leaders there off of 4, but somehow they kept it together. Jay Jefferson got the worst of that, got up into the wall off of 4, hit it a second time that killed all his momentum, and that loses him a transfer spot. Kind of also killed the momentum of Zachary Stultz, but it's amazing we didn't have a big wreck come into the checkered flag right there. But it'll be Chelsea Bowles, William Duncan, James Qualls, and John Citadino. They will race in the Hershey Showdown with an opportunity of maybe making the Hershey's Cup Series Season 3 All-Star Race. Man, tell you what, if these finishes are any indication, I can't wait for the Hershey Showdown, and the coverage of that is coming up right now. Don't go anywhere. Actually, let's show you full finish results first. There they are. Okay, now the Hershey Showdown. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, getting set here for the Hershey Showdown. Top 3 drivers, they will transfer into the All-Star Race. JT Bryant lines up on the pole, Keith Batson second, John Arndt, Trent Dunham, that's row 2, Carson Scott, Levi McIntyre, row 3, row 4, Dylan Pote, Joseph Strigley, row 5, Leon Alvarez, Brandon Gonzalez, and you can see the complete starting lineup in the description below. All 8 of the drivers that transferred from the 2 dual races starting at the rear of the field. 25 laps of racing. I was wrong. I thought it was 20. It's actually 25, so 10 extra laps here. In the showdown, green flag out. Top 3 will transfer into the All-Star Race. Got some big names here in this field, including a number of former winners in the Hershey's Cup Series. JT Bryant, 2-time Hershey's Cup Series winner. Carson Scott, former winner in the Hershey's Cup Series, former winner at Homestead. Back Trent Dunham, a former winner, back at, I believe it was Montreal a few seasons ago. Levi McIntyre won Las Vegas last year, but keep in mind, for him, as well as Brandon Gonzalez, who had a win last season at Texas, those wins came before last year's All-Star Race. So they qualified them into the Season 2 All-Star Race, but since they didn't win after that, they have to race their way here into the All-Star Race via this Hershey Showdown. And how ironic is this? First and second, John Arndt, Joseph Strigley, of course, during the off-season, the mock season. They swapped numbers. Arndt was in the 24 last year. Strigley was in the 05. They swapped numbers. Right now, they are 1 and 2. John Arndt for AS Racing, Joseph Strigley for Strigley Motorsports. And of course, as things stand right now, AS Racing does not have any drivers in the All-Star Race. Himself, Carson Scott, as well as the transferring Chelsea Bowles, they have all transferred here into this race, but they are going to have to try and lease to get one of their drivers into the All-Star Race. For Strigley Motorsports, it's an entirely different deal. One of their drivers in the form of Emmanuel Hartnett won earlier this season at Eldora, so he is locked into the All-Star Race. But of course, Strigley, the team leader, he would love to make it as well. And remember we talked about in the second duel, drivers starting at the rear of the field, being able to work their way to the front. Well, look who's running up here inside of the top 10. Third place, Andrew Davis. Fourth, Chelsea Bowles. Fifth, Italia Salinas. Sixth, Jordan Lopez. Seventh, John Citadino. Eighth, William Duncan. All those drivers were transfer drivers from the duels, as apparently we had an incident, and it looks like it involved Carson Scott. We had something take place out of turn 4. Another driver coming to pit road. That's one of the transfer drivers from Duel 1. That's Matt McIntyre in the 25. Trent Dunham also appears to have gotten some damage from it. So as we can see, as this race progresses, with no caution, we're kind of seeing the drivers that are falling back and involved in incidents that more than likely will not be transferring their way into the All-Star Race via top 3. Now Levi McIntyre, Brandon Gonzalez, Keith Batson way back here, along with James Richardson. So not really sure what's up with them. And I might be wrong. I'm going out on a limb here, trying to delve deep into my mental bank, and I might be incorrect, but I believe James Richardson actually is the former Coca-Cola 600 winner here at this very racetrack. So Kind of surprising to not see him up towards the front. No, that would actually be incorrect, because if Richardson was the defending winner of the Coca-Cola 600, he wouldn't actually be in this race. He would actually be in the All-Star race already. So no, that would be incorrect. I do know for certain that the defending All-Star race winner will actually be going up to try and defend his title. If he didn't make it in via a win, which he did get this season at Bristol Dirt, he would make it in being the defending All-Star race winner, and that is Fitzwater Australia Racing driver Jake Baskinger. So we'll be seeing him in the All-Star race as he'll try and go for his second All-Star race win in a row. And of course, there's a driver right there. A lot of rumors swirling around here during All-Star race weekend. Michael Norman announcing that this will be his final season in the Hershey's Cup Series. Of course, he would love to be able to make the All-Star race in his final season, but right there he just got held up by Trent Dunham. Little contact there between the 60 of William Duncan and the 1 of Trent. And Trent's definitely holding up drivers now. He's holding up Michael Norman. He's holding up Andrew Davis, Jordan Lopez, and Leon Alvarez now, as they'll all try and make their way around the slow, damaged, somewhat off-the-pace car of Trent Dunham. And now, leader John Arndt's going to have to encounter yet another driver in that capacity, and that is M McIntire and the Mac Tool Chevrolet. High side, quick work out of turn 4. John Arndt doing a good job getting through the slower traffic, and William Duncan kind of following in his tire tracks. Right now he's in second. Oh wow, one car used the grass. That was Swigley trying to get around. I think that was Trent Dunham. And now he's got 2 tires actually down on the apron. 3 wide there with A Salinas, Andrew Davis, and Michael Norman. So Swigley driving the wheels off that Pepsi Chevrolet. Right now Chelsea Bowles running in that 3rd position, winner of our second duel race. Right now, she would be in the final transfer spot to make the All-Star race. JT Bryant, John Cinedino, Dylan Poteet, they're running 4th, 5th, and 6th, trying to catch up here, get themselves back in the picture. We could have a battle for the lead momentarily. William Duncan, yeah, he's in a spot that would transfer into the All-Star race, but I'm not really sure he cares about that. He wants to find victory lane regardless, whether it's a non-points event or not. He wants to make a statement if he makes the All-Star race. And right now, he's all over the back bumper of the Reddit Chevrolet of John Arndt. Top 3 were about a 2nd and 3/10 over 4th place last time by, and that actually has grown to almost about 1.5 seconds now. Back to 4th place JT Bryant. They do have traffic they may have to encounter. That's Carson Scott, who I believe is still on the lead lap. James Richardson also on the lead lap. They are 19th and 20th as they run. And we are not quite halfway through this race. As a matter of fact, actually, I think we just hit the halfway point when they were on the back straightaway. So we are now halfway through this event. And, yep, now the ticker updates itself. Wow, it took it until they got to turn 1 to actually update itself, surprisingly. We are halfway through this race now. Still about 50% left to go. So, yeah, those drivers up ahead, those somewhat damaged machines. We know Carson Scott's got some damage. They could play havoc here for these top 3 and allow 3rd place on back to maybe reel these guys back in and make that fight for the transfer spots get pretty interesting here in the closing stages. As William Duncan, he's going to use those drivers on the tail end of the lead lap, now a lap down, to take the lead. Chelsea Bowles follows him to 2nd. John Arndt now getting held up by both Richardson and Scott. He's going to fall back to 3rd. Kind of interesting there, because Carson Scott, John Arndt, they're teammates. And that did not work out in the favor of John Arndt. Also, speaking of teammates, though, as well, Johnny Gardner drives the 96 for AS Racing. The 097 of Chelsea Bowles is actually a kind of affiliate of that team. Also gets some parts from CJ Racing. So that is kind of an unofficial teammate for John Arndt to be able to kind of work with here as they're battling with William Duncan for the race lead. The gap between the top 3 and 4th place John Cinedino is definitely growing. This is the battle right now for the 4th position. Swigley, Natalia Salinas, Andrew Davis, our Duel 1 winner. John Cinedino, pole sitter JT Bryant, they're all back here, but right now they are out of contention for a transfer spot. Doesn't matter if you finish up in the top 5 and 4th and 5th. That's not going to get you into the All-Star race. Are slowly seeming to reel in the top 3. And the top 3 now have encountered some difficulties with Trent Dunham. And that's going to bring 4th on back right into the picture. Look at this. Wow, did it bring him into the picture. William Duncan is all of a sudden faded all the way back to the 5th position as they run. Bowles is the race leader. Arndt's in 2nd. Battle is actually on for 3rd. This is for the final transfer spot. Cittadino to the bottom. Salinas on the outside. Lap machine in between them of Richardson, and now they're going to have another lap machine of M McIntire way off the pace. Nearly got run over by William Duncan, and JT Bryant will use the 25 now as a pick, him into the 5th position. John Hart now to the inside of Chelsea Bowles. This is for the lead again. Cittadino trying to hang on to 3rd place, but he's got Italia Salinas all over his back bumper. JT Bryant trying to dispose of the lap machine of James Richardson so he can get up here into the fight. Now we'll get to the inside of FedEx Toyota. Right now it's looking like the top 3 transfer spots could be contested between 5 drivers. Arndt, Cittadino, Salinas, Bowles, and Bryant, but we still have traffic up ahead. They could play a factor and bring 6th, 7th, 8th, who knows, right back into the picture. Right now it's Arndt, Cittadino, and Salinas. They have the 3 transfer spots. Chelsea Bowles and JT Bryant, they are within striking distance now. They may have something to say as we've got 6 laps to go. Battle on for 2nd. Salinas to the inside of Cittadino. Cittadino, if he has Salinas get by him, he's got to close the doors on Chelsea Bowles, but Bowles is right on the back of Salinas' bumper. That's going to allow them to freight train, and now Cittadino was in 2nd in the transfer spot. Now he slips all the way back to 4th, and now finds himself outside of a transfer position. 5 laps to go here. Another slower car they'll have to deal with. Keith Batson, who's got some right side damage, maybe from getting the wall either out of turn 2 or turn 4, but it's obviously going to hurt him and his chances of making the All-Star race. Now he's going to play havoc again with the race leaders, this time holding up Italia Salinas. Salinas drops 2nd, drops 3rd, may even drop 4th to JT Bryant before she can make her way around Keith Batson. 4 laps to go here at Charlotte. 3 transfer spots up for grabs. John Arndt's looked pretty good since he got the race lead back. He's all but dominated this race. He was showing the way, then William Duncan got around him. He got the race lead back, then Chelsea Bowles was able to get around him. He got the race lead back again. John Arndt's got a very strong Chevrolet. He may be home free if they continue to battle for 2nd. John Cittadino holding that spot. JT Bryant there in 3rd, but here comes Salinas. Battle for the 3rd spot. Salinas and Bryant, they'll take that battle into turn 1. As mentioned, no AS driver is locked into the All-Star race. That could change if John Arndt can hang on to the lead or not drop back any further than 3rd place. Battle is on for 4th. Chelsea Bowles will pass JT Bryant. 2 laps to go at the stripe. It's still Arndt, Cittadino, and Salinas with the transfer positions. Keep in mind, 2 of those drivers had to qualify their way into this showdown. Salinas ended up making it in, finishing, I believe it was 3rd in Duel 1. Cittadino got in, finishing, I believe it was 3rd in Duel 2. It was either 3rd or 4th. And now Salinas to the inside of Cittadino. That's for the 3rd spot. White flag displayed. 1 more lap to go. We're not going to focus as much on John Arndt and Italia Salinas. The battle really is on here for the 3rd position transfer spot. Oh, but Trent Dunham holds up both Chelsea Bowles and JT Bryant. He played pick for John Cittadino. Cittadino now in control of 3rd. John Arndt, he's leading out of turn number 4. Looks like he's going to win this race unless Salinas makes a last charge. She will not. Smart decision. John Arndt wins. He transfers. Salinas gets 2nd. She will transfer. And John Cittadino with the last-minute pick assist from the lap damage machine of Trent Dunham. He'll get the 3rd and final transfer spot into this season's Hershey's Cup Series All-Star Race. Trent Dunham, John Cittadino, former NNSCRA champions, tremendous respect for each other. You gotta wonder if Trent was trying to help John out there. He knew he wasn't gonna transfer. He was, I believe, several laps down, off the pace, nowhere close to the top 3 transfer spots. And you gotta wonder if he was trying to help out his good buddy J Sydnor there. Who knows? But regardless, we now have our field for the All-Star race. And tailing that field will be Showdown winner John Arndt, second place finisher H Salinas, who will actually be making her first start in an All-Star race. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, she's going to be only one of 3 rookies that are going to be in this All-Star race. The other two-time winner Matt Haas and Bermuda winner John Bunnell. So 3 rookies in the All-Star race, and J Sydnor will get the final transfer spot. AS Racing gets one of their drivers into the All-Star race. Fire Ice Racing gets 2 of their drivers now, if you add in Zach Flickinger into the All-Star race. And O'Neill Balvin Racing, one of their drivers, will represent the All-Star race as well. Well, that was it for this All-Star race showdown. And there is the rest of the finishing results. Only 17 cars finished on the lead lap. Number of drivers finishing the lap down. But it looks like everybody finished the race, even though they finished multiple laps down. Trent Dunham, M McIntire, they were badly damaged. Multiple laps down at the finish. But looks like all 22 cars did actually finish the race. So that is going to do it. We are going to have our next video be the Hershey's Cup Series Season 3 All-Star Race. Hope you will tune in for that. That's sure to be a wild one. We got a pretty big field as well for that All-Star Race. And this time, caution flags will come into play. Restarts will come into play. So that'll be awfully interesting. After that, the Almond Joy Series takes another off week as we get ready for the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600. All that's going to be coming your way here at this race weekend from Charlotte. Thank you all for tuning into this race. Hope you enjoyed both the dual races and this Hershey Showdown. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the crew today. Again, we've shown you finishing results from Duel 1, Duel 2 here for Duel 3. It will be John R, H Salinas, and J Sydnor transferring their way into the All-Star race here this season. I'm Seth Cole. Thanks for joining me. You've been watching a production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its best. We'll see you guys next time for the All-Star race here on the NCRA Sports Channel, Offline Racing at its best.